In a quiet, desolate village, an old woman lived alone, her only joy being the letters she received from her son, a soldier stationed at a faraway post. Each day she would sit by her creaky wooden door, anxiously waiting for someone to pass by who could read her son's letters to her, for she had never learned to read. One evening, as the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the empty road, the old woman spotted a lone figure approaching. It was a soldier, his face hidden beneath the shadow of his helmet. She waved him down eagerly, clutching the letter tightly in her gnarled hands. "Please, read this to me," she begged, her voice trembling with both hope and fear. The soldier, his expression grave, took the letter and began to read. But as his eyes moved across the paper, his hands started to shake, and tears welled up in his eyes. The old woman, terrified by the soldier's sudden emotion, felt her heart sink. She was certain the letter bore terrible news about her son. Overcome with dread, she too began to cry, her sobs echoing through the empty street. At that very moment, a merchant happened to pass by. Hearing the wails of despair, he rushed over, only to find the old woman and the soldier weeping together. Concerned, he asked what had happened. Through her tears, the old woman explained, "My son's letter, I fear it contains news of his death." The soldier, still struggling to speak, finally confessed, I can't read. I tried, but I failed. I'm crying because I've been too ashamed to admit that I'm illiterate. I've served in the army for years, and yet I can't even read a simple letter. It reminded me of all my failures." As the soldier wept, the merchant sighed, feeling the weight of his own past mistakes press down on him. A year ago, he had lost everything in a deal gone wrong, but he had never allowed himself to grieve. Now, seeing the others cry, his own emotions bubbled to the surface, and he too began to weep. The old woman watched in confusion as the two men cried for their own reasons. Just then, another traveler, drawn by the commotion, arrived at the scene. The old woman, her voice barely a whisper now, handed the letter to the newcomer. "Please," she pleaded, "tell me what it says." The traveler took the letter, his eyes scanning the page. Slowly, a smile spread across his face. He looked up at the old woman, his voice filled with warmth as he spoke. "There's no bad news here. The letter says your son Anthony will be coming home on leave next month." For a moment, there was silence. Then the old woman began to laugh, her joy infectious. The soldier, the merchant, and the traveler all joined in, their laughter echoing through the village as the last light of day disappeared. In the end, the letter that had brought such fear and sorrow had also brought unexpected relief, laughter, and a strange newfound bond among the four strangers.